That's all it was supposed to do. Now, what I'm hoping that we can accomplish is this. When you look at your business plan, it says, through the use of calling consistently on more current and past clients and my business referral partners, maintain the realtor contact. Through the calling consistently on more current and past clients, I need you to define that. Well, what I mean by that is, so not even on today's call as much, but what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a specific directive that you're going to identify every single week that you're accomplishing with your current clients and your past clients. So if it's getting 15 to 17 million in production, increasing your leads, I want you to break that down into how many leads a week am I getting, and I want you to be focused on, I know that I'm going to be getting if I get 6, 7 leads from my past clients or current clients, I know that I'm going to convert X. But I want to know what you're going to be doing every week when you say, through the use of calling consistently on more current and past clients. Good. Calling them is only, that's the act, the actual message or call to action. What is that? And so for me, as an example, let me give you an example of how I used to do it with my business. So I understood that my current clients were a huge pillar of my business because happy current clients turned into raving fan past clients. Agreed?
Right. Yes.
And the raving fan clients also it also bled into the listing agent. So I always had the ability of wowing the listing agent based on how well the job I was doing managing my clients. Fair?
Correct.
What I did was I identified that my process was really in 6 key components. 1, I needed to make sure my presentation and my message was clear. That was step 1. Step 2 through 6 was at the appointment, initial consultation, at the time that we ordered the appraisal, at the time the appraisal came in, at the time that we got an approval, at the time we got our clear to close, and at the time of closing, I had 5 different points of contact that I was ultimately the one responsible to call my client with. So for example, when it came to the initial application, I did my presentation. When it came time to getting the appraisal in, I called the client and said, congratulations, guess what, blah, blah, and I orchestrated a referable moment, either through the fact that the home didn't appraise or through the fact that the home appraised for at value or higher. It was always a great opportunity to leverage the relationship and reiterate the fact that our business is 100% referred. And I would do that upon the approval. I would do that upon the clear to close. I would do that upon the actual closing date, either by going to the closing or by simply going over the numbers with them prior to closing. The message was that my current client campaign was centered around those 6 parts, and that was what I was entrusted in doing, and that was my message every single client, every single time. That's what I was responsible for to ensure that my current clients became people that were willing to refer us during the process.
Right, and that's what I mean. I basically do that, but I need to hone it down. I need to polish it a little bit because I do touch it that many times. I do attend my closings. I do go over the numbers with them. I do tell them about the appraisal when I come in. I also, at that time, I also make sure that I reach out to both realtors, the listing and the selling agent, to let them know what we're doing in time frame. The girls are doing a good job on that every week. And again, this is all new. That started about the first, probably that started when we went to the business conference from SMP.
Okay. Let me ask you a question.
Yep.
In your mind, what's the definition between a purpose and a reason? It's a tough one to answer, but I'm curious to know.
Yeah, no. The purpose is really what I do for myself, and the reason is how I get my purpose accomplished.
Okay.
My purpose is to go ahead and brand myself in a referable business situation on all situations, a solution.
Yep.
And the reason is to help them either out of a problem or with the solution or to give an opinion.
Right. Very well said. To me, the definition of a reason is I'm disseminating information. I'm picking up the phone for a reason. I'm picking up the phone because, or my team's picking up the phone for a reason. It's very easy to call people and to talk to people for a reason. The message behind the reason is the purpose. And so every time I picked up the phone, because I know that my current clients and my past clients are the #1 staple of my entire business platform, and that could be true for business partners, it could be true for realtors, it doesn't matter who it is. You just have to have a clarity around, if I'm picking up the phone or if I'm typing up an email or I'm leaving a voicemail message, I'm leaving them a message that gives me an opportunity to deliver my purpose, not just the reason. When you call and you leave a message and you leave the details, you're calling for a reason, and then that's it. That doesn't give you a chance to do anything more. When we tie in the fact that as a loan officer, that's the reason we get paid. The purpose is so that the originator has an opportunity to get us more business.
Yes.
So when I look at this, every time you communicate to anybody, your message should be, I'm going to call them to give them an update on the appraisal. However, by doing this, my purpose is to get them to go, thank you, I appreciate it, that was amazing, whatever the accolade is, because the purpose is I want to remind them to the agreement that they had with me when they first met with me that they would commit to advocating me to the people they care about if we did what we said that we were going to do.
Right.
So that's why I picked those 5 key moments: the appraisal, the approval, the clear to close, the closing.
And our big thing is the presentation on the application.
The initial appointment, correct. The reality is that if you simply go through the motions of giving people information, you're simply acting as an employee of your business. That's the loan officer part of your brain. That's why we hate doing it. But if you understand that the message that you're giving them is a perfect segue into getting them to say thank you and then capitalizing on it with your listing agents, with your selling agents, with your clients, with whomever you're talking to, you become infinitely weaved in doing both the loan officer duties and the origination duties at the same time. You
and it
can
makes
talk
it easier.
Well, you talk to clients all day long. Larry, how many clients are you getting referring you during the process right now? How many?
Honestly, 3 to 4. Yeah.
3 to 4 a month?
Yep. Oh, easily 3 or 4 a week from each client. I mean, some are just, it's a lead, but some of, and again, I just did this with an old client that I haven't worked with probably in 15 years, and I've got 3, not leads, 3 referrals. We went through the first time with the situation where one's got a credit issue, one's got an income issue, and yesterday he referred me his daughter.
Okay. So you're doing a great, so if you're going to be doing 11 units a month, 10 units a month, and you're getting 2 to 3 referrals from each of your clients, that means you're getting 30 referrals a month just from your current client pipeline. I'm not going to say that that's not possible, but I feel like that's a little bit of a...
No, that's a little high.
Okay,
yeah.
So let's just for conversation's sake, let's just say that we need to be generating, let's go 3 to 4 current client referrals, and based on your conversion rate, that's at least 2 to 3 closings a month.
Right.
So my question is that if you're going to commit to the numbers, and you know that your current and past clients are a high conversion ratio, which means low talks, the frequency of talks and the number of people you talk to is very low compared to how much money you make on them. My opinion would be, if I'm looking at that going, that's my strongest pillar, and I want to avoid having to call new realtors, I'm going to focus on doing an exceptionally great job with my clients so that I can proactively call the listing agent. And my hopes is during that update call every Tuesday with the listing agent, it's going to turn into a wow or a thank you or that's amazing. And I'm going to then put my originator hat on and go, you know what, Mr. Sweeney, thanks for noticing. I've worked really hard at building up a process that's extremely referable, because I believe we amplify relationships, and I'm hoping that my process is amplifying the relationship between you and your client because you're getting these proactive updates. I'm not sure what you're used to dealing with in this industry, but I believe that my model works very, very well at eliminating a large part of the problems that we have in this business, which are what I would say is communication. And so what I would love to do is just ask you a quick question. Do you get this kind of level of service, and do you get this level of connection and communication with your current lender that you work with? And if they say no, it's, you know what, I'm really interested in partnering up with somebody who understands the impact that this has, because we work really hard at making our agents look amazing in front of their clients, and that's all we care about. And the company that we work for believes the same thing. That's why we're so successful. If you'd like to, I'd love to sit down and grab a cup of coffee with you to see if you and I might have a chance to partner up for future deals. If you're doing 6 out of your 10 transactions a month are purchases, and you have 6 listing agents, and you're having that call every time you get a listing agent to say thank you because you're doing your consistent follow-up, Larry, you're not going to have a problem getting business from anybody.
I see that. You're right. And again, the message I totally understand. I just don't have that much opportunity. I don't use it for the purpose every time I talk to them.
Why?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I need to work on that. Yep.
Well, no, and that's what we're going to do right now. Why don't you have the ability of doing that?
Because sometimes it's more of a social type thing. You know, if I see them out in public, or if I see them getting cocktails after work in the neighborhood, or at a party event. But the realtors I've worked with since, well, probably the last 5 months, really, and we really put this on since we got the new girl in the office. She's been doing a really good job on following up with the clients and making sure everybody on the file is touched. So it's been working really good, and the realtors are saying they appreciate it. And the 3 realtors that I've done this extra work with have all agreed, you're getting all of my business. I met with one yesterday. She's just ecstatic that she looks so good, and she's a new realtor. She just doesn't do a lot, but she's got great potential, great contacts, and probably her average price is probably somewhere in that 400 to 600 range of a home.
But my question for you is, why are you not able to deliver that message consistently? If you're doing, for example, if you do a Tuesday update, if you spend your entire Tuesday for the first half of the morning calling every one of your clients in the pipeline and giving them an update, not to simply transfer information, but to get a thank you out of them, you're going to have a chance to say, thanks for noticing, please don't keep me a secret, remember we're counting on you to keep us in mind when you talk to somebody you care about who possibly needs a mortgage. Then the second half of the day is, I'm going to call the 6 listing agents on 6 of the deals that we're working on, and I'm going to provide them an update, or I'm going to call to introduce myself because they just got a contract accepted. My job is, A, to introduce myself because that's the right thing to do, but the purpose is to enter into a dialogue that sets an expectation that you're going to experience something you've never done before. My goal is that by the 3rd call or the 2nd call, when the appraisal comes in at value, you're able to call them up and go, listen, here's what we just had. Here, just wanted to give you an FYI. By the way, how has it been going over the last 2 weeks that your loan has been in process? Do you feel like things are going well? At the point when they acknowledge you and say, God, this is awesome, thank you, let's just say 3 out of the 6 say that. If you're getting that every month, if you're getting 6 listing agents and 3 of them say thank you to you, you're getting a chance to then deliver the message, which is the purpose of calling the listing agent.
Correct.
Calling the listing agent just to make them look good in front of their clients without an ask is complete insanity. That's completely a waste of your time, because all you're doing is giving free information out and not asking for anything in return. Remember I said the greatest successful personality is the giver with a request. And if you're being a giver every day but you're not making the request, it's the difference between the reason and the purpose.
Yep, and leave it on the table, right.
So my question for you is, on your business plan, when you break it down into how you're going to capture the most, the highest percentage of your current clients, it's coming up with, I will do Tuesday update calls every week to my pipeline, and underneath the realtor pillar, I'm going to call every listing agent on every purchase transaction and only agree to meet with the ones that I think are cool and would like to work with me. There's a 2-pronged business process of working in 2 pillars while dealing with the one. Because you're going to wow your current clients, they're going to become advocates, and at the same time, you're taking care of the listing agent. You've accomplished two things in one transaction by being a loan officer who understands what it means to be an originator and what it means to deliver a message, as well as having purpose.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. And that's it. I do it sometimes. I just don't do it all the time. And I think, and again, some of the realtors I know, and I just don't want to be, I don't want to be machine operated. I don't want to think like it's not genuine, but I'm leaving a lot on the table. I'm leaving a lot of opportunity on the table. I mean, I'm getting good referrals from them. They tell me I'm gonna give you the business, but I could do a better job.
Tell me what you mean by you could do a better job. Like I don't exactly follow that.
Asking for the business. I went to a closing last Friday. We did a stellar job. The realtor appreciated it. I worked with him. With the last company, I probably had to work with him 4 or 5 months, maybe even 8 months from now. I started talking to him about 2 months ago, and we had an FHA deal that already got turned on going FHA. We went in, I spruced it up. I had some other people come in and help me a little bit of paint. We'll fix some cracks. We got it through FHA. He said, Larry, and I asked him, so how's it been? How do you like the team? How do you like the new girls in the office? He was really appreciative. He liked it, and we talked. He says, we had a little quick meeting afterwards, and he says, I'm going to give you as much business as he has, as much as I can handle. But to some realtors, I mean, I felt really good believing it. I gave the girls an update here at the office, but I don't do that on every realtor. And prime example is a lot of my listing agents aren't coming to closings right now. The listing agent on this one didn't close, but it gives me a great reason to follow up and let him know. The listing agent was a little miffed at how can his last client not go through FHA and get turned down, and we went through FHA and got it done.
Right. Right.
But I'm leaving some opportunity that I should brush up on and keep that on the mindset. And I think about a lot of it, but I just don't see the opportunity in our conversation. I ask him how it's going, and I don't get the warm, fuzzy feeling feedback. And I say, if there's anything we can improve, let me, no, everything else is fine. But I know some of my agents are using other lenders, and it gives me another reason to go ahead and compare myself with them or the service that they're currently getting.
Right. So you have to understand that if you're not tracking it, you're not gonna do it. Just like the lead tracker.
Yeah.
So my advice would be on a whiteboard that I see behind you, I would tell you that I would put down every time you get a new purchase contract, I would put down the listing agent's name and phone number as well as the selling agent's name and phone number. And your goal every month is to convert those listing agents and or the selling agents that don't already work with you into raving fans. And when you stare at that board and you're looking for something to do, your direct shift should be turn around, look at the board and go, have I gotten a wow or thank you from one of those listing agents? And then start thinking to yourself, what can I do this week that will impress one of these agents that will get me closer to getting them face-to-face with me? And that's an entire business strategy predicated on one thing, and that is delivering great process and product to your current clients, and then providing communication, which is what you're really good at anyway, but doing it with a request, doing it with a very specific outcome that I'm not going to go to my closings if all I'm going to be doing is sitting there, chit-chatting with the listing agent, the buyer's agent, and the client. I'm not there just to BS. I've already done my job. My job is to show up and accept the accolades and then turn those accolades into, you know what, Mr. Agent, you know what, Mr. Client, thanks for noticing. We do an exceptionally great job at navigating 100 things that could go wrong in this process. I know that you've been involved in transactions that don't go smoothly. What I would love to do is sit down with you and find out if there's a chance that my process could work well with the clients that you refer out to other lenders, because we have a really high success rate at getting our clients to refer us to the people they care about. And wouldn't it be great to have a lender that does that so that you don't have to work so hard getting business from the general population, or to have more consistency? I'm not saying we're the perfect fit for everyone, but I like the way you work. I like I like the way you handled the process. I think it makes sense for us to sit down and chat. If you had that conversation, if that was your goal within a 30-day period of every closing, Larry, you would have more listing agents in the first quarter that you met with than any time you picked up the phone and randomly called agents just to say, hi, my name's Larry Sweeney. Do you have 10 minutes for me?
I agree. Yes.
So the consistency part of it is, what is your strategy every single week that's going to accomplish getting those leads in the door? And I think if you take what you have on that sheet of paper, break it down into the pillars more specifically. Under your current client, what are the 2 or 3 strategies that you're going to commit to every single week that you know will ensure your greatest success at getting your current clients to refer you through the process, not after, through the process? Then I would ask yourself, what could you do every single week with your past clients? And I see you were going to rate them. You're going to do a better job of staying on top of my A and D referral partners. I'm looking for something with regards to your past clients. I'm looking for a 2 or 3 pronged process. Maybe it's Facebook, maybe it's a newsletter, maybe it's a birthday card campaign, maybe it's something different. But you have to come up with a 2 to 3 pronged measurable expectation of yourself every single week. What I see in your business plan is a very great message, but I don't see the methodology and what you're going to be doing every single week. And I want it broken down weekly, because if you break it down weekly, that means how many leads do you need to generate a week? You know, if you're trying to get 30, you're trying to get 30 to 35 referrals a week, that means you're talking about 6 to 7 leads a week, 1 a day. I believe you can get it. So my question is, how are you going to get it, and how are you going to measure yourself, and what actions are you going to be doing daily, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays? And mine was always Mondays. I was always calling my current clients to see, you know, the ones that were actively looking for a home. That was what I would do Mondays and Fridays. Tuesdays, it was my active pipeline who were under contract, give them updates. And I would also call the listing agents and the selling agents. That's what I did all day Tuesday. And then Wednesdays and Thursdays I was managing what needs to be managed in my pipeline and or working on my business. But the truth is that I didn't spend a lot of time meeting with agents that I didn't know already, because I didn't go seeking out realtors that weren't part of my home buying process. Like, I didn't want to cold call agents. But I'm asking you to look at your past clients, your social circle, your current clients. Like, your past clients is like your database of 2,000 people, your realtors, your social, your friends and family. Come up with a specific measurable process for each that you're going to experiment with for the first 2 quarters. And we'll alter it if we have to, but I have to be able to look at you and Larry and go, Larry, what are you doing this week? I see that you've gotten 4 leads this week. What didn't you do last week? Let's look at your business plan. Did you call? No, I didn't do my Tuesday updates, and I didn't ask the listing agents. Well, there's an accountability part. Yeah. I don't have anything on here that holds you accountable to a plan. I see the I see the message in your head and your willingness, but I don't see the accountable steps that need to be there for somebody to say, Larry, come on, buddy, let's go. You got to do this. And they don't have to be long. I just need 2 or 3 underneath each of those pillars.
No, I'll get it. Yep. And this is what I want to talk to Brian about.
Did you see Madison's? Did you see Madison's?
Yes.
Did you see Madison's?
Yes.
So here's Madison's. I put it up on the screen. Yep. Business relationships. She's going to get 4 or 5 relationships, 1 referral a month, 4 to 5 total leads. When I open up her lead tracker and I see that her business isn't coming in this way, she has yet to be able to define for me what she's going to do to attract the realtors. I don't know what she means by 10 to 12 relationships and 1 referral a month. I mean, I don't know how she's going to get out there and do that. That's the message I'm going to have with her on Thursday. So the goal is there. This is the goal, but the business plan is, what are you going to be doing underneath each of these 3 categories for her, these 3 pillars, to accomplish it? Realtors, 10 to 12 relationships. Okay, tell me what you're going to do to get 10 to 12 relationships.
Right. We need a map to how to get to the end.
Bingo. This is the map. This is the goal, but I need a map for each of the. I need a map for each of the 3 pillars, and I don't want an 18 bullet point message. I want 3 bullet points that we can do. And then what happens is, once those 3 are in place, they become habits. They become part of your business. Then we can decide if we have to expand it, alter it. But we do that after the first 1 or 2 quarters, after you build up some momentum to see where we stand. But I'm not going to ask you guys to write an 18 bullet point message underneath each of these pillars, because there's no way that you're ever going to focus on one thing to do it at the level.
Yeah, Mass and I talked a little bit about that. Mine was kind of general and vague, and hers was really, really detailed. But yes, we need a map. We need a map on paper.
Bingo. Does that make sense?
No, no, totally. Yep.
So what I want to see you do for your business plan, my friend, is I want you to break it down.
I'll revise it.
Well, yeah, and I want you to really think about what you're going to be doing to accomplish getting the leads for each of the pillars. Like, I don't know how many leads you want to get out of each of your pillars. You said your current clients are going to send you 3. Let's just say that you're out of your current pipeline, you're going to get 4 referrals, 4 current client referrals a month. Maybe it's 5, maybe it's 6. I don't know how many that is. Whatever that number is, then I'm going to tell you that you have to look at every time you pick up the phone, you've made a commitment to get 4 or 5 current client referrals. You've got 15 people in the process. That means that every time you pick up the phone, you have to convince one person on the call that day to give you a referral.
Right.
And so the following week, it's the same message and the same, I mean, that's what your goal is every time, so that we're breaking it down into basically daily successes. And you know what you have to be doing in order to achieve it. It isn't this ambiguous big number out there that you're just going to try and shoot for. It's going to be every week we have to make sure that we're on track, because as soon as you go off track, Larry, it's so easy to fall back and just and fall behind.
Yes, I agree. Yep.
Okay.
This is, I mean, that totally makes sense, and I need to redefine it. But when I say that's the kind of stuff I need to do, I need to go ahead and make sure that my message is on the front of my forehead every time I talk to these people, because it's not being, I'm doing it, but I'm not doing it as thorough as I should be, and I know there's a lot of opportunity, and like you just said, it's a hell of a lot better than cold calling realtors.
Well, here's the beauty of it. You have all the talent and the capacity to do it. The problem is that when you wake up and you go to the office, you don't have a routine. Like, we know that in order for me to go to bed, I go and I take a shower, I brush my teeth, whatever the order is. Let's say I decide I usually brush my teeth, because I don't like brushing my teeth after I get out of the shower. So I brush my teeth, I go take a shower, I put on my pajamas, and I go to bed. I don't do it ass backwards. I don't go into it every day and go, oh my, what do I need to do first? I have a routine. Right now, you don't have a routine because you don't have any consequences, or you don't have any barriers that makes you realize what you didn't or didn't get accomplished.
Right.
The business plan is really simple. You know, if you got to get 35 leads, 7 leads a week, you can look at your week and go, I need to get 1 or 2 referrals every day. And eventually you're going to start looking at it going, well, I'm getting 30 referrals a month from my realtors and I'm converting 50% of them. Well, then you don't have to really worry about the other pillars right there. Right. It's just at the point where you're trying to figure out what you need to do today. You have to make sure that you're going out there and generating activity that A, expands your brand, but B, brings leads in the door that are convertible to closable deals. It doesn't mean that every week you have to do 1 here, 1 here. It just means if you're cognizant, if you're aware, and you keep it at top of mind, your activity level is going to match your intention. Let's make it happen, brother.
You got it, man. That's what I want. This is good.
So revise it for me, get it to me next week, and then hopefully by the time we get ready for the Christmas break, you'll be clear and concise on what you need to be doing.
Amen. I appreciate the help. Thanks, man. Really.
Anytime, brother. Make it a great day, buddy.
You got it. You too. Thanks. Take care.
All right, buddy. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.